Hey there guys, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we will be reacting to another video by Nightmare Tales called She Stands by the Highway Road. Ooh. Well, anyway, let's press play and see what's gonna happen, shall we?
Late through the evening hours, a car drives on a lonely desert highway road. The man behind the wheel does his best to fight off the boredom. If it weren't for all the static and country music on every other station, he'd listen to the radio. But alas, he'll have to settle for the view of the night-drenched landscape instead.
Yeah,
Fortunately
apparently.
for him, his car is slowly approaching a hill in the road. It isn't much, but at least it'll break the monotony of having driven on a straight and flat highway for the past few hours. He drives up and over the hill with no issues. But as his car descends, he spots something curious in the distance. He isn't exactly sure what it is at first.
It looks like Sadako.
He's eventually able to distinguish what it is. A young woman standing near the side of the
Sadako,
road,
definitely.
She
Definitely
has porcelain
Sadako.
skin, with long hair as black as the night, draping over her
Again,
face.
this has to be Sadako.
What the hell is she doing all the way out here, the man ponders. There isn't anything nearby for hours.
Allegedly.
Thinking the woman may be lost, the man begins to slow down, trying to decide if he should pick her up or not. But just as he gets closer, a chill envelops him. Despite being in the middle of the desert, her hair looks particularly drenched, as if she had just taken a shower. And even though her hair is draping over most of her face, the parts left uncovered look a bit disturbing to the man. She had a smile that seemed unnatural in some way, but most alarming of all was her large eyes that were peeking through the strands of wet hair, looking directly at him.
Definitely
The
Sadako.
appearance was so jarring that it was enough to change the man's decision about letting her into his car. He proceeded to step on the gas and drive away. Even though she was just a young woman, something about her gave the man a very bad feeling. It's
No
probably for the
kidding.
best, he tells himself.
And
Could
then
have been
she
lonely
was
in this
behind
car
him.
while her friends waited in the dark to carjack my vehicle, the man surmises, not wanting to admit he was just flat out spooked by the woman. After a few minutes
I mean,
of driving
anyone
a
would
stretch
be
of more
spooked
flat
being
highway,
faced with
the car slowly approaches
Sadako.
another hill.
I bet.
Just like
I
before.
mean, not me personally,
There's no
but
issues driving up and over it.
you
But
know.
as he drives downward, he spots something again on the other side of the road in the distance.
The same
Long
young
before he sees
girl.
it's another person. However, a feeling of uneasiness begins to creep up on him when he realizes that not only is it another woman, but a woman who looks eerily similar to the one he saw earlier. It can't be, the man blurts out. As he drives closer,
You're hallucinating,
it
buddy.
becomes more apparent that the woman looks exactly like the one before. She too has a white dress.
She also has a bigger smile.
It was as black as the night, with large eyes peeking through the strands. However, this time, she was closer to the side of the road, and her unnatural smile was even disturbingly wider.
Yeah, that's the first
Stares
thing I
directly
noticed.
at him as his car nears. The man doesn't hesitate. He steps on the gas and speeds past her. Eventually, the night obscures the sight of her from his passenger side mirror.
This is actually really getting
It's the
creepy.
same woman, the man nervously tells
It
himself.
is.
There's no way she got there quicker than I did. It's impossible. People must be out here trying to prank drivers or something.
No,
But
they're
despite his attempts to
not.
assure himself that nothing strange is going on, he is shaken by the situation. To make
Because
matters
once
worse,
again,
he sees another hill in the distance. A feeling of fear begins to overtake him. He is frightened at the thought of what he might see on the other side. But despite his apprehension, he isn't willing just yet to give in to the idea that something unexplainable is happening.
yeah, no
He
kidding.
continues to drive, and just like before, he drives up and over the hill.
Up
But
and
just like before as
over.
well, as his car descends, he once again sees something in the distance. He is inundated with a feeling of terror. No, it can't be, the man yells out. But as he drives closer,
Oh God!
turns into horror upon the realization that it is indeed a woman, and And just like before, she too has a white dress,
And has an even bigger smile.
wet hair as black as the night, with large eyes peeking through the strands. She is also practically standing on the edge of the road, and her unnatural smile is now so wide it almost stretches from ear to ear.
Like the slit-mouthed woman.
Both the man and the woman look directly
Also, that's a
at
fun
his ears.
Asian movie to
The
watch,
man
actually.
screams as he steps on the gas, speeding past her. How? How is she able to travel so fast? He asks himself while almost hyperventilating. What is going on? Even though he can't explain it, he just somehow knows deep down that it's the same woman as before, or the same thing as before. He had always heard tales about desolate highways being haunted, but not until this very moment did he believe any of it. What does she want? He thinks to himself. His eyes shift back and forth, side to side as he observes his surroundings, feeling scared beyond belief. Even though he wasn't planning on making any stops this soon on his trip, he is too terrified to continue driving through the night. He's come to the decision that he'll take the next exit he sees, but he knows that it may not be for at least another hour.
But then...
Unfortunately for the man, he sees another hill in the distance. A sense of dread overwhelms him. He's frightened at the thought of what could be waiting once again on the other side. But as much as he doesn't want to keep driving,
Creepy.
he has no choice. He figures he's no safer going back or parking out in the middle of nowhere. Despite being terrified, he conjures up the will to continue ahead. He tells himself
And then
that he
she's
can
in the
drive as
middle of the
fast as he
road, I
can
bet.
if he sees her again. With his hands shaking and his breathing shallow, his car drives up and over the hill. Even though it feels as if his heart is about to jump out of his chest, he reluctantly looks to see what is on the other side waiting for him in the distance. And it's nothing. To the man's shock and
Yet.
relief, the woman is nowhere in sight.
She's
Still
in the
feeling
car, I bet.
He continues to survey his
The way
surroundings as he
horror
drives.
stories go, at this point
But
she's
after minutes
probably in the
pass by
car.
without a sign of the woman anywhere,
You
he's
know?
able to finally take a deep breath.
And then he looks in the
Is
car
that it?
mirror.
He wonders.
Then he looks in the
Is she
back
gone?
rear view mirror.
A smile registers on his face, feeling relieved. It's over.
And then he looks in the rear view mirror.
And to add even more good news to his current situation, he sees that there doesn't seem to be any more hills in the distance. He begins to laugh at himself. Can't believe I scared myself like that, he says, feeling slightly embarrassed. Of course it was just some kids playing a prank. I should actually go back there and teach them a lesson. But despite his joyous mood, he's still feeling a bit rattled by the incident.
Yeah, he's probably
convinced
gonna
that
look in
there
the
is a
rear
pretty
view
rational
mirror
explanation
and
for
then
what
sees
just
her in the back seat.
No matter. He'll worry about it later. Wanting to calm his nerves, he starts fumbling again with the radio, looking to see if there is finally something decent to listen to. After hearing nothing but static on the first couple of stations, he finally comes upon one with a contrasting sound. He intently listens, confused at first at what he's hearing, but a cold chill soon encapsulates him when he realizes what it is. The sound of a female crying. Just then, a pair of porcelain-skinned hands stretch out from behind the driver's seat.
Called
The
it!
hands grab his head, the fingers digging into his face, and the man lets out a blood-curdling scream. The car swerves out of control on the highway. It isn't too long, however, before it eventually drives off to the side of the road, crashing into a large rock. The car horn blares into the night as the vehicle comes to a full stop.
And the man is dead.
An
Or
hour
nowhere
passes
to be
before a highway
found.
patrol car is the first to come upon the scene. When the trooper checks on the driver, he is met with a gruesome sight. The man's dead body, still strapped into his seatbelt, with his bloodied head looking in the other direction, having been twisted 180 degrees on its neck.
Ouch!
Despite the horrific nature of the deceased, the trooper quickly moves on to inspect the rest of the car. To his relief, there isn't anybody else in the vehicle.
And then he checks the back
But just
trunk.
at that moment, something catches the trooper's attention. Some kind of noise was coming from the trunk of the car. The trooper quickly pops open the lid to look in, and when he does, he is shocked at what he sees. There, lying in the trunk is a frightened and crying little girl. Her hands and legs tied with rope, her mouth duct taped to prevent her from making a sound. After quickly freeing the little girl from her restraints, the trooper lifts her up and proceeds to carry her towards his vehicle. But just as she is being cradled in the trooper's arms, the little girl herself is cradling something in her own. A little doll with a white dress, porcelain skin, a smile with cracks on the sides of its mouth, large eyes, and hair as black as the night that looks as if it's been drenched with the little girl's tears. Thank you to all of you
Wow.
through Patreon.
I wasn't expecting that one, to be honest. And yeah, I actually really like stories with haunted dolls and everything. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this one. Again, I actually do like all the videos that Nightmare Tales makes and everything. But man, some of these just are gems among gems, you know? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe as much as I did, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah, bye.